Hello, and welcome to A Village in Lockdown, a new weekly podcast series exploring the impact of the coronavirus on the historic and beautiful garden village of Port Sunlight. My name is Catherine Lynch, and I'm the Director of Heritage for Port Sunlight Village Trust. Each week, invited guests will share their insights into how the COVID-19 pandemic is affecting life in the village, from tourism to the community, landscape management to the built environment. They will also share survival tips for lockdown and useful ideas regarding how we can spend our time at home. I do hope you enjoyed the series. As always, we would really appreciate your feedback. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kate Daly and I'm Visitor Experience Manager for Port Sunlight Village Trust, and I work within the Heritage Directorate.
Hello everyone, my name's Anne and I'm the Marketing Officer for the Lady Lever Art Gallery, which opened in Port Sunlight Village back in 1922 and is now managed by National Museums Liverpool.
Hi, my name's Alyson Pollard and I'm Senior Curator at the Lady Lever Art Gallery.
What makes Port Sunlight Village so special and unique to me are the variety of ways that we can offer visitors to experience the village, and also allowing visitors to find out what is meaningful and special and interesting to them in the village.
Port Sunlight means ever so much for me. It's really the reason why I'm in the job I'm in today. When I applied to work for National Museums Liverpool, I applied to be a marketing officer. I could have been asked to work on any one of their 8 museums and art galleries, but I was really secretly hoping that I was going to be able to work on the Lady Lever Art Gallery. It's been part of my life for as long as I can remember. I was sent or dragged on school trips here back in the day, not really knowing what to expect, but finding it just this really kind of little bubble down the road that was just ever so beautiful and calming and serene. And it's somewhere that still, several decades later, I come with my own children to relax and to enjoy the surroundings and of course the beautiful art in the gallery as well.
Port Sunlight is a very special place. We have the incredible architecture of the cottages, the wonderful grounds which always look absolutely amazing. I just love them in spring when all the blossoms are coming out and the tulips are just incredible. And we have such wonderful facilities in the village. There's the museum, the theatre and the art gallery, of course, to name a few. But most of all, the community. There's such a wonderful sense of warmth here. And I think that you can really feel that when you come to the village. And of course I'm going to say that the art gallery makes it a very special place because it does hold a collection which is absolutely first class, world class in fact. You won't see anything like this anywhere else.
COVID-19 is having a huge impact on Port Sunlight Village. It has resulted in the temporary closure of all our visitor attraction and experiences. So that includes Port Sunlight Museum, the Edwardian Workers' Cottage, the Tea Room and Bridge Cottage. This has come at a time which we would consider our high season. So from March, April onwards, this is actually where we would welcome the bulk of our visitors. So we have seen significant cancellations in bookings between March right through to September. But more notably, we have seen lots of cancellations or postponements until 2021.
The impact of COVID-19 has been huge. The gallery staff, most of them, are working at home now, and many of them have had to learn how to use new technologies which perhaps they weren't familiar with and work in different ways. So it's been quite a challenge. The day-to-day running of the gallery in terms of maintenance, checking the collection stores and making sure that everything is in place and ready for when we can reopen is still happening every day. So although the doors are shut and the building looks closed from the outside, there's still work going on inside. In the meantime, while the doors are shut, I do hope that you'll visit the website and see what we have on offer there.
We are working really hard to share the story of Port Sunlight across our digital platforms. So that includes Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and through the Village in Lockdown series, so the podcast that you're currently listening to. We have managed to get some of our landscape team back working on site, socially distanced from each other. But from that, we were able to get them to take some beautiful shots of the village, showcasing the impact of COVID-19 on how it affects the physical landscape. So very long grass in places, wildflowers growing, things that are very unusual for the scenery in Port Sunlight, right through to making sure that we can share those images online for those who are at home or had a planned visit to Port Sunlight. They can still see what it looks like in the summer months.
Closing has been a shock to the system, really. It's not what we're set up to do. However, very early on, we used our social media channels. We're active on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and we asked our followers what they wanted from us, what they needed, and there was an overwhelming support. People wanting to see virtual tours of our museums and galleries, and for us to continue sharing the collections. So as the person responsible for our social media channels, that's what I've been doing. I've been sharing 2 to 3 features on our collections every week, and it's been really interesting. Even though I've worked for the gallery for 12 years, sometimes you don't make the time to stop and look and to really discover the stories behind our collections. And so COVID-19 has actually given me a great opportunity to learn more about our collections, and it's been wonderful to be able to share those as well.
First and foremost, I would say please do not feel like you have to do something every hour of the day. I think it's really important to recognise that we are in the midst of a global pandemic. So some days are going to be really good and productive, and other days are not going to be, and I think we all need to recognise that that is okay.
So the one thing I am trying to do is to find a little bit of time for myself, be that just nipping out for a 40-minute walk. I'm fortunate to live very close to where I grew up, and I'm actually really enjoying kind of taking the steps of my childhood again, walking on footpaths I haven't walked on in years and had almost forgotten existed, and connecting with my neighbours. We all live so close to each other, and we barely talk to each other, and because everybody has been strolling around the area, it's nice to connect with people and to put faces to names and to make new friends, really, as a consequence of this.
Concentrate on 1 or 2 things that you really want to get done, rather than jumping from one project to another. So if it's researching your family tree, just really go at that for a few weeks and see how much you can actually achieve. Or even if it's cleaning out that cupboard that you've always wanted to clean out and never got around to doing it, because time whizzes past, and here we are, we're in week 12 now, and it would be great to just think, wow, I've actually managed to do that, and tick it off the list. So I've not been very good at that myself, but I think if I was to give myself a piece of advice, that would be what it would be.
A top tip for getting through lockdown is to organise your photo albums. Now, whether that is photos that are printed and you have them physically, or whether that is just taking time to finally download those thousands of photos that you have on your phone, it will bring you endless hours of entertainment, reminiscing and taking a trip down memory lane. It's also a really good way to take a break from technology and recognising that you can connect with family and friends and memories without having to use your phone or any type of digital or social media platforms.
My tips for lockdown probably is just to try and take the pressure off. There's a lot of serious stories coming through in the news at the moment, and it's challenging, and personally for me, one of the hardest things has been becoming a teacher and feeling overnight that I have to be able to educate my 2 young children and know what I'm doing, and I don't. And so at the beginning I got it all wrong, and now we've just taken the pressure off, and that would be my biggest tip. Just go easy on yourselves. We're having a whale of a time now. We're fortunate, we've got a garden, we run around in that, we've been planting flowers, we've been deadheading things, and we are just having some quality time together. We're learning in our own little way, not quite so formally as maybe some might want us to, but we want to come out of this on the other side happy, and looking back and thinking, wow, wasn't that a great summer to spend together. We weren't expecting it, we didn't want it, we want to see our grandparents, we want to see our extended family, but we chose to have a really great time together.
Top tip for surviving lockdown. I suppose it would be talk to one another. So if you've been meaning to phone a relative or friend for a long time, then just do it. Stop putting it off and just get on with it, because that could make such a huge difference to their day. And actually, it's something that you'd really enjoy and treasure doing. So I think that's probably the most important lesson that this lockdown's taught me personally. We've had to use other ways to keep in touch, so we've been doing a few family quizzes, which I've been really bad at, but they've been very, very good fun. So that has actually kept us talking as a family. So I think really, if you're not technologically minded, maybe write a letter or a postcard. They're lovely to receive, aren't they? I always enjoy getting a letter, so maybe that's another way to deal with it, but just keep talking to people. I think that's the best way to survive lockdown.